this side TV's failed. So the only part on this side of the car that we didn't replace packed it up. Got the broken shaft out. You can see, not getting much drive there. So the cage is fully cracked out there. So all the bearings escaped. Alright, we've been to Chris at Quinlan's. We've got a new half shaft, new axle for the 86, and we got some sway bar braces too. So the rear end of this 86 and the WRXs that share the same rear end, the sway bars, once you upgrade them to something really heavy, there's a lot of flex in the sway bar links. So we're going to chuck these braces in at the same time while we put the new axle back in. Picked up some new brakes. It wasn't originally the plan. I thought I might get some new pads, do a bit of ducting, maybe get some new rotors as well. And by the time I got new rotors and new pads, I was probably going to be up for about 900 bucks. So I got a second-hand set of 2008 STI Brembos. So they're much bigger. They're 4-piston front, 2-piston rears. The rotors are much larger as well. They've been sitting out in the rain for the last, I don't know, 6 months or so. I've cleaned this one up already. I'll get the rest of them cleaned up. There's a little bit of a lip formed on them, so I'm going to go get them machined soon as well, and then I'll dust them over with a little bit of paint and then chuck it in the car. Still haven't got any lines yet, so once I get the lines turned up, put them in the car, and I'll try and do some ducting as well if I can get some ducting happening, just to get some cold air over them as well. So, big upgrade in the brake department. Alright, got the disc back from the machine shop, had all those lips taken off them. I'm going to dust them over with a little bit of black paint, then I'm going to chuck them on the car. Now, I wouldn't really worry about getting any black paint on the actual face of the disc themselves. I try and get it in all those slots so they look nice. Everything on the actual surface of the disc, once the pads start wearing in, they'll take all that paint off, so I wouldn't worry about trying to avoid getting it on the actual face of the discs. Alright, we're going to start with the back. I'm going to pull this rear corner off. Remember that brake fluid will eat all your paint, so it's water soluble, so if you're undoing this rear line here, you're going to get brake fluid everywhere. So make sure you keep a bit of water around, just wash everything down so it doesn't ruin any of your paint. So to get the rears off, it's as easy as undoing the line and the 2 bolts. You should be able to pull the caliper off. Now you want to make sure that your handbrake's not on when you try and pull the rear off, because it's an internal drum setup. So if that parking brake's on, your drum's locked, so you can't actually pull that caliper off. So there's actually 2 bolts that you can do into there to sort of jimmy it off. But if you've got your handbrake off, you should just be able to pull it off by hand pretty easily. Alright, it's hitting on the dust shield there, so we're going to have to chop that to allow a bit more space. So I used those bolts to get this front rotor off. It was locked on there, so we've got it off. Got the caliper off. We're going to pull the heat shield off, and then we're going to chuck the new assembly on. So at some stage soon, I'm probably going to modify this into a brake duct, get some air onto it. But currently, that shield doesn't do anything, and it doesn't clear with the Brembo, so we'll chuck them away for now. So these are the new rotors. They're much larger than the original standard ones. Alright, so to identify the left and right on these calipers, you always want to have your bleed valves to the top. So if they're upside down, you can't bleed it. So if you ever go into like a dual caliper setup on the back for drifting, make sure that the valves are always to the top. So that way you can bleed it properly. Alright, for the moment of truth to see if the wheel's clear. They should. Pretty close. So the new rotor's foul on this dust shield a little bit here. So I'm going to cut this lip off, leave most of it, because you can't actually unbolt the rears. It's all welded into the back of this bracket, so rather than disassemble the entire hub, I'm just going to put a cut through there so the new rotors will clear. We've got plenty of room between that dust shield there and the rotor now, so that'll work. I'll bolt the caliper up and get it back together. I've got some braided lines coming. For the meantime, I'm just going to chuck the standard lines back on. Make sure you don't forget your copper washers when you're doing these up either. So I'm running out of time today. Tomorrow we have to head over to Mitta Mitta. There's actually our club's involved in a rally over there. So I'm going to go over and I'm going to shoot a bit of video at the rally and show you guys some of that action. And then next week we'll be back into it. We'll do the other side, and hopefully by then we'll have braided lines so we can bleed all the system, and it'll be finished then with the new brake upgrade.
Tomorrow.